Hello students, today we are going to look at Act 2 Scene 9, Merchant of Venice, in which Prince of Aragon comes in order to make the choice of the caskets. And after reading the 3 instructions on the 3 caskets, he gives his views about each and every casket, and lastly he chooses the silver casket. And finally he gets what type of image from that and what type of scroll was there, and immediately then he has to leave Belmont because he had chosen the wrong casket. So this all we have to see in this scene. Enter Nerissa and a servant. Nerissa, quick, I pray thee draw the curtain straight. The Prince of Aragon hath taken his oath and comes to his election presently. So Nerissa, first of all, she enters along with a servant and asks the servant to draw the curtain apart, because she says that be quick and remove the curtain so that Prince of Aragon, who has taken the oath, because before choosing the caskets the oath had to be taken by all the suitors, so he has completed taking his oath and now he is coming to choose a casket. Enter Aragon, his train, and Portia, flourish of cornets. Now then Aragon comes, then his followers are coming, and along with them Nerissa is there, and then a blowing of trumpets occurs. Portia, behold, there stand the caskets, noble prince. If you choose that wherein I am contained, straight shall all nuptial rites be solemnized. But if you fail, without more speech, my lord, you must be gone from hence immediately. So Portia gives him the instructions that you can see there are 3 caskets kept over there. Now you can go and make your choice, and if you choose the right casket, then immediately our marriage ceremony will be performed, and then I'll be your wife. But if in case you choose a wrong casket, then immediately without saying a word you will have to leave Belmont as per the oath that you have taken. Aragon, I am enjoined by oath to observe 3 things. First, never to unfold to anyone which caskets was I chose. Next, if I fail of the right casket, never in my life to woo a mind in way of marriage. Lastly, if I do fail in the fortune of my choice, immediately to leave you and be gone. So Aragon repeats the 3 oaths. He says that I am bound by the 3 oaths that I have taken. First of all is that if I choose a wrong casket, then I will never tell anyone that which wrong casket had I chosen. Second is I will never propose to any lady in my life for marriage. And third is immediately I'll have to leave Belmont without saying a word if I choose a wrong casket. Portia, to these injunctions everyone doth swear that comes to hazard for my worthless self. So Portia says this is but true that all the suitors who try to observe their luck while choosing the casket have to take these oaths for my worthless, for me as a worthless treasure. Then Aragon says, and so I have addressed me fortune now to my heart's hope, gold, silver, and base, lead, who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. So he says, okay, I am fully prepared for following these conditions, and then he reads the instructions. First of all, he reads the instructions of the lead casket where it was written, who chooseth me shall give and hazard all he hath. So he says that the inscription is okay, but you will have to look more attractive. He says to lead casket, you will have to look more attractive so that I can take risk for you. Then he moves further and he reads the gold casket. What says the gold chest? Ha, let me see, who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. What many men desire, that many may be meant by the fool multitude that choose by show, not learning more than the fond eye doth teach, which prize not to the interior, but like the martlet builds in the weather and on the outward wall, even in the force and road of casualty. So he reads the instruction of the gold casket where it was written that who chooseth me shall again what many men desire. He says many men means the mob, the crowd of the foolish multitude, the foolish people who just run after the outward show and never try to know the internal or the deep secret of anything. They do not have understanding of anything. So he says that It is just like the martlet bird, because martlet bird knows that if I build a nest outside the walls of the houses, then what will happen during the thunder and the storms? This nest will be blown away. But still, knowing all these facts, foolishly that martlet bird always builds the nests outside the buildings of the houses, outside the walls of the houses. So he says that similar is the case with the foolish men who know that the result of the outward show or the choice of the outward show may be hazardous, but still they take the risk and they go on foolishly working on it. So he says that I will not jump with the common spirits, I will not go after the foolish men, so I reject the gold casket. And then he says that, why then to thee, thou silver treasure house? Now he says to silver, tell me once more what title thou dost bear. Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. And well said, for who shall go about to cozen future and be honourable without the stamp of merit? Let none presume to wear an undeserved indignity. Oh, that states, degrees, and offices were not derived corruptly, and that clear honour were purchased by the merit of wearer. So then he reads the inscriptions of the silver casket, where it is written that who chooseth me shall gain as much as he deserves. So he says that this is rightly said too, because nobody has a right to cheat their fortune and secure an honorable position. So he says that I wish that most of the people who are at high positions or are gaining high honor or have properties, degrees, and important positions of the power, I wish that all of them had gained all these positions only by their honest means, and they did not try to gain these positions by corrupt means. But nowadays it is seen that people who have good qualities and are deserving have to bow in front of the people who are at high positions, and those who are at high positions do not deserve to be there, as they are deserved only to bow in front of those who are now bowing in front of them. So in a way he means to say that by corrupt means only, the people who are undeserving, they gain the high positions, while the deserving candidates, they are given the substitute positions or the lower position, the subordinate positions. So he says that many honorable and noble persons would be found among the humble dignity, because among the humble or the low grade people you can find many honorable people who have the right to be at high positions. But now I must proceed to make a choice. So he says that okay, then then he also says that there are many wicked people who are found among the noble people. So in a way he says that nowadays the society has become such that deserving candidates do not get the right position that they deserve. Then he says, okay, after seeing all these caskets, my choice is to select the silver casket. So he says that okay, I shall claim to have this casket, and he asks for the key. Now when he opens the silver casket, he is dumbfounded and he waits for some time. So Portia says, too long a pause for that which you find there. She says that you have taken a lot of time after opening the casket. What has happened? Aragon, what here the portrait of a blinking idiot, presently me a schedule. I will read it. How much unlike art thou to Portia, how much unlike my hopes and my deservings. Who chooseth me shall have as much as he deserves. Did I deserve no more than a fool's head? Is that my price? Are my deserts no better? Now Aragon says, see, what does it contain? And he says that I have found the portrait of a blinking idiot who is half blind on a piece of paper. And I have found the scroll over it. I will read the paper, and then he talks to himself that do I deserve, am I such a candidate that I deserve only the portrait of a blinking idiot? This is the result is opposite of my hopes and desires that I was having. Now do I deserve nothing better than a fool's head? Is this the price that I am getting for my worth? Then Aragon says, what is here? He reads the scroll, and there it is said, the fire 7 times tried this, that it never choose amiss. Such have but a shadow's bliss, silvered over land. Who was this? 7 times tried that judgment is, some there be that shadows kiss, there be fools alive I was. Take what wife you will be to bed. Now Aragon reads and says that what is written in it. He says in this inscription it was written, the fire tests 7 times the silver metal in order to give it the purity. Similarly, a wise judgment before being taken is tested 7 times, then only the final decision is taken. But there are some people who run after only the outward shows or the empty shows, which have nothing inside them. There is no result of it. So such people, they get only unreal happiness, and there are certain fools of such kind. Then he says that the attractive exterior hides their folly. Sometimes there are people who have got white hairs on their heads just to show that they are experienced people, but they are actually not. So you have been a symbol of folly. So now, because your decision has turned out to be fruitless, be gone from here. And you have been properly dispatched. So he says to himself that I appear to be much foolish if I stay here. I have come with the head of a fool, and now I am going with the head of another fool. So with 2 fools' head I am returning from here. Then he says, farewell, sweet Portia. I will keep my promise, whatever I had made by taking the 3 oaths. Then he exits. And Portia says, thus had the candle sing the moth. Oh, these deliberate fools! When they do choose, they have the wisdom by their wit to lose. Now Portia is happy that he has gone. And she says, now in this way, one more moth has burnt in front of the flame of a candle. And then she says that these men become fools knowingly that they are making the foolish decision. Still, they try to behave like fools. Then Nerissa says the ancient saying is no heresy, hanging and wiving goes by destiny. Nerissa says, well, there is an old proverb which says that to be hanged and to choose a wife, all are by luck or by chance. Portia, come draw the curtain, Nerissa. Then she orders Nerissa to draw back the curtains, and then enters a messenger. The messenger says, where is my lady? Now he says, my lady. So Portia, in a taunting way, says, here, what, my lord? Then she says, here I am, my lord. What do you want to say? Messenger says, madam, there is alighted at your gate a young Venetian, one that comes before, to signify the approaching of his lord, from whom he bringeth sensible regrets, to wit, besides commends and courteous breath, gifts of rich value, yet I have not seen so likely an ambassador of love. A day in April never came so sweet to show how costly summer was at hand, as this four superior comes before his lord. Now the messenger in a very happy tone says, madam, there is a young Venetian person who has come at the door of your gate, at the entrance of your gate, and he has come before his lord in order to give you a message that his lord is coming from Venice, and he has got substantial greetings with him. Along with these greetings, he has brought some precious gifts along with him. And as a matter of fact, these are valuable gifts and the greetings in pleasant words. But never in April have I seen such a pleasant day as this, as I am seeing today, which shows that how pleasant the atmosphere is, how beautiful the summer was about to come. So this messenger has come to indicate the arrival of his lord. He also says that I have never seen such a messenger of love as Cupid. Portia, no more I pray thee, I am half afeard. Thou wilt say anon he is some kin to thee. Thou spendest such high day wit in praising him. Come, come, Nerissa, for I long to see. Portia says, I request you to praise him no more. You are praising him in such a way as if he is your relative and you know him very well. Well, if you have taken so much time in flaunting so high recommendations about him, so I am eager to see that servant. So come, Nerissa, with me in order to see that servant. Nerissa, Bassanio Lord love, if any will it be. Nerissa says, I think that messenger has come from the side of Bassanio as it comes to my mind because Bassanio loves you lot. And after that, they both leave the scene. So this way this scene has finished. Hope you have understood it. And if you have understood it, press the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.